Hi guys, how's it going? It is me, Jack here, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Football Manager 2023 save here with Birmingham City. And as you can see by the title of this episode, it is the season finale, the relegation scrap in season 2 of this Premier League campaign. It's been a season of ups and downs, but the relegation scrap goes to the last two games in which we play Arsenal at home and arguably one of the biggest of all, Brighton and Hove Albion away from home. As you can see by the league table, Leicester City 36 games played, 33 points. Norwich are going to find it difficult to try and stay up on the last days. They've played 37 games and are on 34 points. 3 points behind us, who obviously have a game in hand against Arsenal, and you've got Brighton on 38 and Everton on 39, both of which have played 37 games. Brighton's last win came the 25th of February, but actually they were able to get a big 1-0 victory May the 11th against Norwich City, and unfortunately for them, even though their performances have picked up and results have picked up, it may just be a little bit too difficult as they face Manchester City away on the final day. Watford are already relegated, but before we go into this Arsenal game, can I just say thank you very much for the continued love and support on this series. The viewership has absolutely blown me away on this series, and the continued subscribers that we've been getting. It's been absolutely fantastic. So can I just from me, thank you very much before we come into this final episode of this season. It's been really, really refreshing to see the support, so thank you for that. And as we're joined together for this final episode, it's been one hell of a season, but hopefully we can get something out of this. We were able, actually, after that disappointing Everton game where we lost by a goal to nil thanks to an early goal by Branthwaite, we managed to somehow pick up a 2-0 victory away against Southampton. We switched it back to the 5 at the back system, dropping Shelder up after this game. This was his last start for us, and again, 6.4 rating. We had the discussion about his form, and he accepted it, that the fact he doesn't do very well. We brought on Gelhardt and made a bit of an impact, but it was goals by Romero, 2 of which from this right-hand side, that just managed to eke out that 2-0 victory, them 3 points, which we really, really needed, as you can see by the points total. And in the last game we played, Wolverhampton away, a goal from Adama Traore, who, unbelievably, his first goal, it's such a FM coincidence that a player that you see hasn't scored, hasn't created any chances, scores against you, and he did so in the 40th minute. We started Gelhardt in this game, and again, he didn't do anything. Romero had an off day. Jimenez got a goal in the 51st minute, and they won the game by 2-0. Even though we created more chances, we were just unable to find the back of the net. I don't think there's anything now to show you. We've got a little bit of an injury, not crisis, but a concern that a few of our players are fatigued. But I think all is said now is to go into these final 2 games. We normally stick to 1 game an episode, and the past few you've had 2 games in every episode due to the FA Cup run that if you've missed, we got to the semi-final, and I kept you updated with that. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying the 2 games an episode. You deserve it for the continued support. But we're going to stick with the 5 at the back system against Arsenal, because I think that our best opportunity to get some points today will be this system. Sam Byram is the notable absence. He's finished now for the season because he's picked up a 2-game ban for accumulating 10 yellow cards. So rather than going with Colin at right wing back, who hasn't really done much this season, is lacking a great deal of match sharpness, I'm going to stick Fabra at right wing back. He has played there before, but I just feel like he'll be able to do a little bit more than Colin. But if it doesn't work, we'll bring on Colin. But this is going to be the lineup. Ruddy in between the sticks. The back 3 here, Anel, Howard, Bellis, who also is 1 game away from suspension, so we've got to watch that, and Cabal. Fabra and Langelo, the wing backs for us, Onyeka and Bakuna, sticking with him in the Mazzala role. And the front 3 is going to be Romero, Chong and Shelderup. Almada, you might see we've dropped for this game. He had a good little stint on off the bench against Wolves. I think Romero just can perform that little bit better out there. Has done well. Bit of an off day against Wolves, so I'm going to give him the opportunity to see what he can do. And on the bench, we've got Colin Roberts, Gardner Bellingham, Sunyik, James, Keller, Almada, and Joe Gelhardt. Oh, it's game week 37. I can feel it in my stomach. The nerves are starting to kick in as we head into this tie. Some teams have got some big points against Arsenal. I'm hoping that we can be one of them today. We had the opportunity in the last game and in this game to have a meeting with the players, but I don't want to have that yet. I don't want to put the pressure on them. So I'm just going to tell them, we're the underdogs. It suits us to the ground. If we get 3 points, you look like you could be set to survive, but it's not over yet. They're probably favourites. Let's put a bit of the pressure on them. And hopefully at St Andrews we can give these fans something to cheer about. It's the last home game of the season, so hopefully we can get some points. Our home record has been the record really that's kept us afloat in the Premier League this year. The away form hasn't been as good, but it's picked up as of late, and hopefully we can pick up some points. We said the magic 40 will probably keep you up, and it looks like that could be the case this season. Arsenal's lineup, it flashed up on your screen. They've got some strange players. You've got Balogun starting, Vieira. It looks like a weakened side, but they're obviously fighting, as you can see by the league table, for that top 4 spot. And hopefully we can try and stop them in their tracks today as we look to magically get something from this encounter. Berg from Zinchenko passes it back to the defence, and they can start an attack of their own now. Zinchenko on the left-hand side beats Romero for pace, and now loses the ball in the box to Smith Rowe, finds Thomas Partey, who has a run in, and it's an easy strike. He's unmarked in the midfield, and Birmingham City are down a goal to nil. It's getting, the pressure's getting to us, lads. It really, really is. We've had no shots on target. We've had no shots at all. Let's just encourage them. Come on, boys. Can we do something before this first half draws to a close? Don't think Leicester are playing at the minute by the looks of things, nor are Watford, but Watford are already down. It's half time. It's 0-1 at the moment. Let's just tell them, do you know what? Let's just get revenge. Some players are starting to look nervous. This is why I've not put the pressure on them, because you can see some players will just start to fold, and you can see it now. Looking a bit more composed as we enter the second half. At a shot on target, which is good, and maybe we could start something now. John Ruddy to Enel, back to Ruddy. Over to Cabal on the left-hand side, and we can start something. Bakuna, great run here from Longelo. Could he find a striker? He finds Romero. Now there's an overlap on the right-hand side. Oh, he loses the ball in a bad position. Howard Bellis intervenes. Fabra finds Romero. Oh, great ball over to Shelderup, and he's been fouled by the looks of things. John Brooks, the referee, blows for a penalty, but it's going to go to VAR. What are they going to say about things? This could be a really, really good step to get back into this game. What's the referee giving? He gives a penalty. And it's going to be, oh, it's Shelderup. This is the biggest penalty of his career. He steps up. It's saved. It's saved by Ramsdale. I don't believe it. I'd swear to God, I don't think Shelderup has missed a penalty this season. And he might have just taken the biggest miss of the save. I'll tell you what we'll have to do. Who's that who's on a yellow card again? If someone's on a yellow card, Fabra. I don't want to lose Fabra for the last game. No, it was Howard Bellis who's off as well, isn't it? Shelderup's. Oh, he's having an absolute mare. I'll bring on Gelhardt because I think that's just completely knocked him. That Chong's not doing very well as well. I get Amada on. Oh, that is so bitterly disappointing. We get a goal there. It just gives us the confidence to get another one. But unfortunately, we've missed that penalty. 70 minutes now. Sleever to Partey. Ramsdale to Gabriel. Come on, boys. Onyeka with a great tackle. Got to be careful, but he's timed it to perfection. Arsenal, unfortunately, still keep the ball. Balogun to Smith Rowe. Vieira to Zinchenko. Fabra's done okay at the right wing back position. Might look to make a little change. Balogun with a heavy touch loses the ball. Howard Bellis to Onyeka. On Howard Bellis is right out of position now as he's drove forward. Balogun shoots. Balogun hits the ball wide. And I tell you what, let's just take off Fabra. We'll bring on Colin for the last 20. Is Onyeka going to be out now? Oh, Onyeka's going to be out for the last game because he's picked up that suspension. He's picked up that card that we don't need. Right, let's bring on Bellingham because he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to play a part in the last game against Brighton. We have a highlight. Rudding to Enel. Back to Rudding. Harwood Bellis. There's a man in the middle here that we could have found, Onyeka, but Cabal finds Bellingham to Bellis to Onyeka. Onyeka, great ball out wide to Luca Romero. He's had another quiet game, but could do something there. It's too heavy of a touch. And Balogun doesn't get the ball back. Vieira is the one who's going to get it. What can he do with the ball? Just keeps charging forward, hits it, and it goes well wide of the post. Oh, we're going to make a change, but we're not going to now. Langelo to Cabal. Cabal to Harwood Bellis. We're having chances in this game. We're having attacks, which is good to see. And now to Colin. Colin with a lovely dink over to Romero. Got Gellart in support. Zinchenko is just, he's got him for breakfast. He's eating him for breakfast. It's that easy against him. Romero with a little interception, but Smith Rowe can just get it back. Romero's got the pace to keep up with Smith Rowe. And he keeps up with him. A good tackle as well. Just stops him in his tracks. Has to play the ball backwards. Vieira, Partey, and we intercept. Right, could this be an opportunity to attack? Almada on the left-hand side. Made an impact on off the bench against Wolverhampton. We need the same from him again. Lovely ball into Joe Bellingham. It hits the bar. Oh, we're getting closer and closer. Is there still an attack here? Colin. He's stuck and he can't do anything with it. Right, Romero's going to have to come off. I don't know what we can do to try and change this game. It's a shame we've not got Chong left. I tell you what, let's go back. Let's go back to this and see if we can. We have to take off Bellis just because we're lacking. We'll lose him if he gets carded. That would be the only change we can really make. We'll try and press a little bit more, maybe push a little bit higher up the pitch and distribute that ball quickly when Ruddy gets it. So let's play a bit narrower and we'll play a bit more expressive. Final 15 to go. Come on, Birmingham City. Can we get an attack going to try and find a way? Look at the stats. We've actually done really, really well. And it's an unfortunate bit of football that's just led to Partey sneaking it in and a miss from Shelderup. And as we've gone attacking, Arsenal could be about to extend their lead. No, John Ruddy retrieves. Now, could we do something? In the dying embers of this match, we hoof the ball forward. Bellingham doesn't get it, but Langelo gets it to Bellingham. Gellart shoots. I think he's offside. We can't over celebrate that. I think he's way offside. This ball, if this is allowed, I think this is one of the biggest wrongs ever. Yeah, I knew that would be disallowed. There's no point celebrating a goal like that. That could have been goal 15 and goal 9 of the Premier League for Gellart if he remained in an offside position, but he's way, way offside. Oh, it's disappointing. It really is. It's going to the last day, folks. I think it's going to go to the last day. Final attack falls to the hands of Birmingham City. Colin, Romero. Gelhart's offside again. It's a great strike, Gellart, but you're so far offside. You need to get yourself into an onside position before the ball comes to you. Again, offside. There's no point checking in the VAR here. Yeah, clear disallowed goal. Oh, it's been frustrating this game because we've had the chances and the boys have done so well. As they do the walk around the pitch, it's going to the last day, and I'm going to tell them. I want to say sometimes. Yeah, I think we've got to be happy. We've got to keep the morale up. Trust the process because that's a good performance. I liked what we did today. The team gave it everything. We'll just continue on from there. So, before this final game, Birmingham City, 37 games played, 37 points. We'll just find out what the Leicester City score is before we head into that game. Gellart, keep your head up, mate. We'll put our arm around you. I have every faith that you'll score in this last game and keep us up. Here we go. It's Brighton away on the final day. Come on, the Blues. Yeah, so just looking at the league table then, I think Norwich City are probably out of sight, I think, because of the goal difference. Unless we get absolutely pummeled against Birmingham City, I don't think they're going to be in with a shout of surviving unless whoever they play, which I think is Man City, isn't it, on the last day. Yeah, if they stay up, then it's a miracle. They need to absolutely hammer Man City, which I don't think is going to happen. It's all down to Leicester City whether this goes down to the final day. If they beat Manchester United away from home, then the gap will go down to 1 point, which means obviously they're still in it, and Brighton will still be in it as well. Everton probably could be safe. If this is a draw, it still goes down to the last day against us because of the goal difference. So it's all dependent on this game now against Leicester, against Manchester United, which is on the Wednesday. Hopefully, as we advance through, we get no injuries coming through, and we could just have this lovely run through to the last game. It would be lovely if the last game didn't mean anything if Leicester City do lose. We won't get any of the finances and things like that to say that we've survived, because it could technically, mathematically still go down to the last day, but I don't think it will happen. I don't think it goes down to the last day if they lose. Just skip through this. Sorry about that. Here we go. End meeting. This is key. This is pivotal of this save. Whether we're in the Premier League or whether next season we're going to have to try and get back up to the Premier League from the Championship. All boils down to one game. Just doing a little bit of scouting. That's one of the toughest things as well, is you don't know how to scout. I like to do a lot of scouting sort of prior to the window happening, so I can really, focus in, hone in on the players that I want. But you can't do it when you're in a relegation scrap because you don't know where you're going to be. We've been in and around this sort of position for the entirety of this season. It would be brilliant if we finished 17th this season, because it just allows us to have that platform to try and regroup, put a bit more investment into the club, and keep a hold of our better players at the team. Here we are, 8 o'clock kickoff, Manchester United versus Leicester. That's the game we're looking at. We have to pray for a Manchester United victory, and I have a feeling that we are Premier League next season. Come on, please, Manchester United. It's a 4-1 victory. I am sure. I think that Middlesbrough, they've got nothing to do with us. Birmingham City are going to be playing Premier League football next season, unless Norwich City absolutely hammer us. It would be great on the final day now if we could beat Brighton, because we get a little bit more prize money if we finish higher up in the table. That is one sigh of relief. Let's head to the Brighton game. So we're ready for the final game of the season, away against Brighton and Hove Albion. Just confirmation for you, Leicester City, with that defeat against Manchester United, are relegated from the Premier League. Potentially going to look at their team for players to try and steal off them. James Maddison, Luke Thomas, some very pretty players in and amongst this side, which we're going to definitely keep a little eye on. So yeah, this is the situation. Birmingham City, we've got to hope that we don't get battered against Brighton. Norwich have to win against Man City and ultimately get that goal difference to be a lot better. But we're in a very good position at the minute, and it is really down to the fact that the goals we've conceded this year, we haven't conceded loads, we haven't scored many, but we have done, I think, just enough to try and survive. Sam Byram's still out, of course, with that suspension, so we'll head back to the formation that we've been using quite a lot this season, the 4-2-3-1, and we'll stick with Fabra at the right back position. We'll go with the two in defence, Anel and Cabal, who've been really good this season. Longello as well, been excellent when he's been back in the team. Sunyik can go at ball winning midfielder, another player that's done really well this season, coming in from that loan spell, of course, last year in Bundesliga. Onyeka can go back to box, another player that's taken a while to settle in. Done really well though since he has, and I think he's showed a good amount of form in the second half of the season. We'll play Bakuna at Mazzala as well. Featured quite a lot, more so than I expected him to, but he has done a really good job this year. Romero, Chong and Shelderup, in parts, have done really well, and hopefully we can see a little bit more consistency from some of them key forward players next season. So here we go, final game of the year. Can we get a victory to seal this? So I'm just going to say, we're not going to mention anything about the relegation battle. We're just going to say, go out there and put on a performance for these fans on the last day. Well, Jack, the biggest game is finally upon us. I guess we'll know in a couple of hours. I don't know, now it's at the players. Always important to score goals. They deserve that kind of. Yeah, John Ruddy, of course. This will be his last game in a Birmingham shirt, and I think at the age of 37, what performance he's been putting in this year. And even Gary Gardner, to an extent, picked up a massive injury, still comes in and has played a little bit part. So yeah, absolutely brilliant from him, and well done to him. As you can see, 17th. It's going to be a great time for them to leave the club, knowing that they've left us having survived in the Premier League. But let's not hope that we get battered here today. And immediately a highlight takes place. And now finding Onyeka. But I think that we've got a really, really good sort of system to try and move and work on this year. Bakuna, nearly goes in just wide of the post. But I think we've got a nice base, a nice structure to build on for next year. If you look at some of the players we've got a nice little two here in defence. Howard Bellis is great back up. I think players like Onyeka are going to be really, really strong for us. Hopefully, I'll let you in on for next season. I hope we can keep hold of Luca Romero, because I think he's been really, really good, and I think he'll grow to develop and be a really good player. And obviously players like Shelderup, who maybe haven't had the best season this year, as he gets that 10th goal of the season. Finally, the run is over of him not scoring. He's got that. He's into double figures. He's got that 10th goal, which is brilliant. And we take the lead. But I'll still ramble on. Hopefully Shelderup will stay and no one triggers that minimum fee release clause. And even when you look on the bench, Almada, he's going to be someone that we look to try and keep on. Bellingham will hopefully continue to develop and get accustomed to Premier League football. And Gelhardt, the first half of the season, I was all for keeping him. But I don't think we'll be keeping him for next season, because he just has not done enough this year for me in order to try and keep him. But we'll move on from that then, and we'll talk about that in the not too distant future. Let's focus on this last game and try and get ourselves higher than 17th. A bit of action taking place with Brighton having chances, but hopefully it looks to be over. We're on 40 points at the minute, level on points with Everton. Hopefully we can continue on and try and grab a few more opportunities. Origi finds Taylor to Caicedo. This is a strong Brighton team. You know, it's been so difficult to compete this year because of the quality that is just oozing all around this team, all around this squad, and all around this league. And even the same with Brighton, they're 16th, but it's got really good players. Trossard, Caicedo, McAllister, all international quality players. And Lamptey as well. You expect these players to be playing at a higher level for higher teams as this FM save develops. Lamptey's got in behind. Divock Origi has slotted it in and has given Brighton the equaliser. Another player that should not be playing in the bottom in a relegation scrap. He should be playing, for top half Premier League sides. It's a great little interception. It's a great ball here from Moda, straight through. Anel just unfortunately couldn't get there. Lamptey with his pace beating him, and it's a lovely tap in by Origi. And the game is all square again at 1 apiece. As we'll go on to the latest scores here, we'll keep that screen on for the minute. Manchester City 0, Norwich City 0. Let's hope it stays that way. And Trossard whipping it in. Lewis Dunk can't get the header. Taylor's going to get it on the edge of the area. I think that's Charlie Taylor, a man that we were looking at quite a lot during this season, to come in. But we didn't have the finances to fund it. Origi with a shot goes wide of the target. And that's a chance missed from the home side. Half time then, 1-1 at the break. I'm just going to say, you're doing well. Keep working hard until full time. It's not been the worst performance. It'd be nice to end the season on a positive note. A point, I suppose, would do. Manchester City got a very late goal back in that first half. They take the lead, which means for the league table that it just remains we're 1 point clear. 1 point behind Brighton, 4 points clear of Norwich. And the clock just ticking down here at the Amex Stadium. 68 minutes played. We'll bring on Colin, I think, for his arguably his last game of the season and of his Birmingham City career. We'll bring on. Actually, we won't bring on. We'll keep on Cabal. Don't know who else to really change. And we'll bring on Bellingham, see what he can do instead of Bakuna. And I think because it is the last game, we'll try and find a way to bring on players like Gardner and see what he can do. There is a highlight though. Colin brings the ball to Onyeka, He plays a great ball over to Shelderup. Is he in a bit of goal scoring form now? It seems that way as Andreas Shelderup with a blasting effort into the top corner. Is that a sign of things to come for next season and the future in the Birmingham City shirt? That's a brilliant ball by Onyeka. What a finish. Just brings it down, hammers it home, and we lead by 2-1 in this game. That's fantastic. I tell you what, we'll bring on Armada as well. I don't even want to really bring on Joe Gelhardt because the performances he's put in have not been good enough in the second half of the season. There's a highlight in the 84th. Gardner, his last appearance. Come on, Gardner, let's pick up the pace a little bit. I know you're retired. Well, not retiring. You know you're leaving here at the end of the year. But come on, let's get a final victory for you. Shelderup with a great ball to Almada. He's through on goal. Can he make it 3-1? Yes, he can. Thiago Almada makes it 3-1. The crowd are going wild. It's been a while since I've seen his name on the score sheet as well. And it's a great counter-attacking goal here. Lovely assist by Shelderup as well. And he just runs through. And as soon as he gets onto that foot, it's a brilliant finish into the bottom corner. Manchester City game is 4-2 all of a sudden. And look at that. We're on that magic 40-point mark that we spoke about right at the very start of the season. Birmingham City are a Premier League side next season. That is a fantastic result. Oh, just feel like I can breathe a sigh of relief after this season. It's been one of the toughest saves, and I said at the start of the season, if we were to survive this year, it would be one of the biggest performances of basically what I've done on Football Manager, really, because what a challenge it's been with this side, where we brought in a few really quality players, but the rest of it is just a makeshift side. I'm going to praise Shelderup for him scoring. You were absolutely superb, Shelderup. I can't wait. Look at that, 9 goals in. He's played every game, to be fair to him. Fair play for him. And when was Almada's last game? He's wanted by Fulham and Leeds United, who are coming up next season, I believe. Yeah, look at that. That was his first goal since the win against Aston Villa. But yeah, as I was just saying, in the Championship, Fulham and Leeds are the sides that are coming up. Burnley, Forest, Millwall and Borough are going to be trying to fight it out for that place in the league. And it's confirmation that Norwich City will be going back down into the Championship once more with Leicester and Watford. We survive in 16th position. What a great campaign it has been. I'll meet you for the end of season review. Here we are then for the end of season review for the 2023-24 Premier League season. No trophy on the front of this screen this year, as last season we got the Championship, but this year, finishing 16th feels like a trophy. The closest we got to the trophy, of course, was the FA Cup semi-final, but before we look at that competition, let's take a look at how our signings did. The star signing was Thiago Almada, an A-star signing, and they were overall pleased at the fact that a minimum fee release clause of £34 million would mean that an excellent deal for the club if that ever got triggered. Luca Romero, an excellent signing as well, and a little hint for next season, we have placed a little bid on him, hoping that we can keep him because I think he will be an excellent player in the future. A-stars for Enel, B+ for Langelo, I think for the fee paid. What a brilliant signing he turned out to be, and hopefully he'll be again good for us next season as a backup. Onyeka with an A-star performance as well, for 1.7 million, someone that is just really solid and will be able to build on next season. Shelderup as well, 11 goals. What a man he is. I'm so pleased that he's able to stay on next season. We'll hopefully try and negotiate a better contract in terms of that minimum fee release clause. But yeah, really proud of him. Cabal was okay as well. £7 million, quite a steep financial decision, but left-sided centre-back, good stats. He'll only develop, I think, into next year. As well as him, Howard Bellis, really good signing, I thought, as backup. Did okay. I think, again, it's really good on the fact that we'll be able to make money on him. And there's two more players. Byram, I think that'll be quite good. Yeah, B+, because it was a free transfer. We'll get a little bit of money for him if we decide to sell him. But he'll be good backup hopefully next year. And Frank Fabra as well. 33 years of age. It was a punt bringing him in. But I think overall, I think he did a really good job. This season, The expectation was to attempt to avoid to survive. We did that with a 16th place finish, and look at that average home attendance, 98% full. It was just a really, really bitty season. We got odd wins here and there, and it was them odd little wins that meant that we survived with 40 points. Moments to remember: an emphatic 10-1 victory that started the FA Cup run. If you've missed a little bit of the season, we beat York by 10 goals to 1 in an absolute thumping. We had Rotherham, which was lucky, a nice 3-0 victory, a 1-0 victory against Sunderland, a quarter-final victory away against Leicester, and the first massive side we faced, Man United, we unfortunately lost by 2 goals to 0, meaning that the final is an all Manchester affair. Match to remember was the 1-0 Second City victory that I think you saw on camera. We beat Villa by 1 goal to 0. Massive that we beat them in the Second City derby, and we beat them twice this season as well, if you remember. We beat them away from home. And goal of the season, I actually won Premier League goal of the season this. A 3-0 victory against Southampton. A memorable 25-metre strike from Almada meant that we dominated and got 3 points. Reputation hasn't changed. We've made money, which is excellent to see. Look at that broadcast revenue, £88.5 million compared to the £2 million from the Championship this year. That's the difference between survival and going down. Almost £85 million. 15,500 shirts sold. Almada, Chong, Shelderup, Onyeka and Anel getting on there. And this was the sort of dream 11 for this year. Ruddy in goal, I'll agree with the whole of that back line. And it was, yes, Sunyek, Janino Bakuna getting in there as the Mazzala. No Bellingham this year, which was quite disappointing to see. I thought he'd be doing a lot better. Chong on the left wing, Almada on the right, and Shelderup up top. Shelderup, not on this list, actually. Almada got Fans Player of the Year, got Young Player, Signing of the Season, Goal of the Season. Gelhardt was actually top scorer. You wouldn't believe the season that he's had. Really disappointing how many goals he got in the second half of the year. But the first half of the year, absolutely unstoppable. He just had a really, really poor second half of the year. Romero got most assists, and Player of the Match awards go to Almada. Highest rating goes to Almada. And it was Mark Roberts that got most passes completed. He's one of them players that we might be looking to sell. Actually, I say looking to sell. Yeah, probably actually. I thought his contract might run out, but he's got another year in the deal. And not a Premier League player. And that's why he got the 6.3 rating for this year. Birmingham came along better than anyone would have expected and carried that mid-season form all the way to survival. Birmingham dared to dream, and thanks for great results in the middle of the season, their survival dreams came true. We won't really look at this too much because I don't think there's much to say from it. I'll pause it there. Look at that, 91 points this season. What did we have? Probably just signing players. Relegation avoided, signing a few youth academy players. Yeah, nothing really much to say from that. I'll go through all this in the spare time. The one thing that you will want to know about is the transfers and how much money we've got to spend, and it is around £38 million, 70 grand on the wages. I've got a whole lot of business to do, a whole team almost we need to construct for next season, and I'm going to run off now because I'm going to try and rebuild this side, and hopefully we can maybe try and just stave away this relegation battle. We might get involved in another one next season, but I'm hoping to try and now look further up the table, try and get involved in this mid-table pack. We're not that far away from it, so hopefully a few signings will help us improve the squad and help us move up as we try to progress through this Premier League table in a matter of seasons. If you've enjoyed season 2 as much as you've enjoyed this whole save, please do hit the like button, comment and subscribe to the channel already, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, because it's been one hell of a journey and I'm super excited for the start of season 3. Make sure you comment and subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed already. I'm looking forward to welcoming you to season 3 very, very soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.